The following podcast contains strong language, substance abuse, and themes of suicide. Listener discretion is advised.
A snake came crawling. It bit a man. Wotan took 9 glorious herbs, struck the serpent into 9 parts. The apple brought this to pass against poison, no more to enter her house.
Anglo-Saxon folk charm. The 9-herb charm.
A snake came crawling. It bit a man. Then Odin took 9 glory twigs, smote the serpent so it flew into 9 parts. There, Apple brought this pass against poison, that she nevermore would enter her house.
My name is Suzie Edwards, and this is Bodies in the Trees, the last recordings of the Unknown Book Club.
So, this is Stan and Stone Circle.
We've found a news article all about, what would you call it, an occult murder, essentially. It's exactly when we started out, when we were like, we really want to find something to do with like an occult murder. This is it.
We're now 1 month away from the ritual of the 9 ladies. The boys are in Cornwall, at the far southwestern tip of the UK, an area steeped in myths of magical folklore. And they're on the trail of an occult murder which took place at a stone circle on Bodmin Moor in 2008.
And now we've got obsessed with magic and are now investigating an occult murder.
It's so much fun, though.
In which a young woman's skull was crushed under a sacrificial rock.
This is the stone Jake in the middle. This is it. Ugh.
While the story is horrifically gruesome, their intentions on visiting the site are less to investigate and more to research. To not only understand sacrifice, but to know how. Chapter 9. The Darker Side.
Oh, have you got any advice for us going forward, just broadly?
If you do want to look at the dark side, because there is a dark side, is as long as you're specifically looking for a certain thing, don't try and raise Satan. It didn't work for Aleister Crowley in the slightest. But find the dark side, because once you get into it, it's very comforting to actually not be afraid to look at the darker side of yourself or other people as well. I found it took me a long time, because if you do it really properly, and it has to be at a specific time and something you've got to think about long and hard before you get into it. But once you do, it's fine. And so you don't have any problems about talking to the darker side.
One of the things with the murder,
Yeah.
you see a lot of the dark side of all of it ever is sacrifice, isn't it? The sort of human dark side of it. And that's sort of the worst that happens, not the worst that happens necessarily, but when people say like, oh, you got to be careful, I sometimes wonder whether they're just talking about like getting too involved in it and killing yourself or killing someone else. Do you know what I mean? Like, sacrifice.
What, you think that's what...
Well, just from like all the history and everything you hear about it and read about it, like the actual sort of living world, tangible, like dark side is people getting their heads smashed in with bricks, isn't it? Like that.
I guess like if you run it to its end point, though, people talking about things like energies, like we're all energy, like spirals of energy.
Mm-hmm.
If you start to view yourself as part of the energy system, there's no good, there's no bad.
Yeah.
Then that's where it gets like murky, because it's like, unless you're very, very clear-headed, if you start to believe in things like for example, that we are just energy, then death means less. Yeah, I don't know, it's weird, isn't it? You start to think about it. I just keep thinking about it being that she wanted to do it willingly. Like...
Well, we don't know that.
Every fibre of... Well, yeah, I know, but still, it's like... Every fibre of your being would be struggling to get out of that kind of situation, You would be desperately trying to get away. But the fact that there was none of that, that's the thing that chills me the most. It's like...
Well, yeah, but you don't get...
It's like death with a smile.
But that is cult, isn't it, in a way?
What, Death with a Smile?
Well, you know, I mean, Jonestown or, you know, Heaven's Gate or any of those sort of cults.
At Jonestown, they found babies. And mums were willingly putting syringes of the Kool-Aid into their babies' mouths.
Yeah. Yeah, because they thought they were going to a better place. They've been brainwashed into thinking they were going to a better place.
That's it, isn't it? It's just energy.
But then, the darker side of it, I suppose, even darker than that, is... I think it was... Well, we read it in the book, actually. The difference between, like, being a shaman and being a sorcerer. A shaman goes to journeys for healing purposes of healing and self-healing only. I think Barbara said that.
Yeah.
But a sorcerer is after power. It's more about power, and that's more of an egotistical thing.
Trying to manipulate that.
Yeah, manipulate.
But there is a part of me, and this is me just like, I'm just spitballing now. Like wildly speculating, but there's a part of me that wonders if the only reason people have opinions like that now about the separation of sorcery and shamanism and things like that is because we've got everything we need. We're in a comfortable situation. You know what I mean? Whereas if there's something you really, really want, back then it was food, now for us it's fame or whatever.
Yeah.
Then maybe you're willing to do something that's like, I don't know, you know, that is manipulating it, that is kind of... I'm not saying that's, you know what I mean?
The stakes aren't as high.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like we're
it's very easy for us
not dependent on the harvest.
Yeah, us two just fumbling into it, but I do think, I mean, obviously that's our plan, isn't it? But I do think we really should, just like, we just have to push. Like, I'm not saying I want to risk opening up any kind of. I sound mad here, but I'm not saying I want to risk opening up the sort of, you know, the gateway to hell.
Portal.
So, yeah, I'm not saying I want, but what I'm also saying is let's risk that.
I know what you mean.
Let's just push it to the listeners.
As far as we can.
Like I suppose I'm not saying that I'm willing to sacrifice myself. I don't want to die.
Yeah.
But I am really invested in this more than the podcast, even if we weren't just fascinated by it. And I'd like to just see what we can, I believe in magic now, in my own way. I've got my own belief about it. But if someone says, do you believe in magic? I say yes.
Yeah.
But that belief in magic is more a case of like manifestation, about how like your mind can affect things, mind over matter, all that kind of stuff. But I also just want to see if we could just make the podcast, make ourselves famous from it, make it really successful by using potentially dark magic.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'll drink to that. I mean, I don't know if that is what I would do if we weren't doing the podcast, but I just think in terms of making it interesting for people to listen to, you want someone to go to the extreme, don't you? Do the actual, you know, to properly do it. So we're not just like talking about it. It's like, no, we're going to do it.
When I had that dream about the upside down tree,
yes,
growing out of the roof, all the skulls and the screaming, it was on fire. Like, and then seeing that as like a symbol of like before we knew about anything. That was honestly the point where I was like,
it was after we'd been to Nine Lakes, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't mean the point where I psychologically was like, oh, actually I believe in this now, but it was the first, like for me, it was one of the things that happened where I was like, I remember Kate, I woke up sweating and Kate was like, you need to stop this.
What, the podcast?
Yeah, she's like, you need to stop this. And I was like, it'll be fine, and now look at us.
It's really yeah, but
I'll drink to that.
I'm not worried about
Cheers.
I'm not worried about this. Like, but I know a lot of people are. I've had it said to me quite a lot. Like, just be careful.
Yeah, Rachel said it to me as well.
About people, you know, people who love us. But then part of me is like, so you do believe in magic? See, like if you're worried about us, then you do believe in it. Do you know what I mean? When my mum says like, just be careful.
Yeah.
It's like, well, so you believe in magic then?
Yeah, be careful of what? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone believes in magic.
Exactly.
Because it's real.
Well, Is anything real? That's the point, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I just think
maybe nothing's real and everything exists on the same sort of...
I'm not saying we're going to go up to the Nine Ladies and do a spell that's going to make lightning bolts come out of our hands. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nothing will happen. That's the ritual is what will happen, and something will happen to us, and as a result, we are the podcast. The podcast, I believe it. I genuinely believe it. I genuinely believe we go up there. This podcast is successful as a result of what happens up there.
Absolutely.
And obviously, what's happened before affects that, but it doesn't matter. The time isn't linear. It's in spirals, concentric circles. By doing that up there, the fact that we go into it knowing that it is going to have the effect of the podcast being successful means that it is magic and will work. And we've already done the ritual before we've done it. I know that we do it.
That cyclical point, isn't it? Sitting in the centre of, well,
the universe.
Sitting at a place a point in time that is sort of repeated forever. I love that. When you said, but we will do the ritual, I totally understand what you mean, because we'll get there. It's not that anything that'll happen, but the fact is that by doing that ritual, we are on
That's what's happening. That's what will happen.
But we're on the other side of the fence. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be in. You know what I mean? You have to have one foot over the other side to get bitten by the dog. Do you know what I mean? And that is our
putting ourselves in the lion's mouth.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. It's also like it's a symbol of of our transfiguration, of our transformation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Of our shape shift, of our our metamorphosis.
And also, the listeners are going to bloody love this. This bit might not be on, but the beautiful narrative arc, despite us not having any narrative of the facts of that we're just going to...
We don't really know what we're doing here, listeners.
We don't really know what we're doing, but, well, you should probably go to the Nine Ladies. Okay, what's that?
All right.
What's that stone circle? Okay, what's that?
What's the stone circle?
And then the fact that we'll go back, because I just don't think we've got any more... We can just do this forever, and I'm always going to be interested, but I just want to find some way of wrapping up. There's maybe a few bits and pieces we could do afterwards, after we've been at the Nine Ladies, but mostly I think we've covered a lot of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the slight concern is that in a lot of the stuff that I've read about rituals and spells, especially if you wanted to dabble in things that are, because this is the reason this would be considered dark is it's not for self-healing. Unless you see it as we need this to be successful for ourselves. I think it's a want. I think it's us manipulating something, wanting it to be successful. So
we know that.
I know we do. Which probably makes it darker.
Yeah.
One of the problems is a lot of the stuff I've read is that in order for the dark magic, there has to be an offering. And I know we're going to be offering water from the chalice in Glastonbury, the holy thing. We're going to be offering Blue John from the caverns. We've got loads of stuff to offer and offer and offer.
I know what you mean. I know what you're saying.
It's not smashing a girl's head with some rocks, is it? Whatever they were asking for. So it has to be self-sacrifice. So like that girl, they wouldn't have just kidnapped her. She'd have been indoctrinated into the cult.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. It has to be willing. You have to come here of your own free will. You have to do it willingly.
Yeah, a sacrifice. That's if it's just stealing someone, then that's more just a murder.
Exactly. You have to make the journey.
I've just got a Google alert. John D has just posted. Oh my god, okay. Right, here we go. Come on, open. Okay. He's left a review of Treadwell's books. Once you've got what you needed, you can find something you didn't know you needed. 29, 28, 48. What's that like? Bible verse? Okay, there's 9. He's left 9 reviews. Stonehenge, Stannon Stone Circle, Glastonbury Tour, Nine Ladies Stone Circle. It happens before you actually get here, doesn't it? And you don't realise until you've gone home that something did happen. 16, 3, 12, 2, 1. What are these coordinates? Blue John Cavern, St Anne's Well, Scarthen. I gotta figure this out.
So I think June the 8th or 9th is a free for me.
Has to be the 9th.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
That's when we started.
Well, brilliant.
And so we've got all the stuff we've got from Glastonbury.
Yep.
Very important we keep the candle. That's what Trevor said.
Candle, spell, wands.
Wands, got quite a lot of crystals to take.
Mushrooms?
Yeah, mushroom, but we're going to make a mushroom tea.
Okay. Well, mine are in honey at the moment.
Because
so.
we're going to, this is a surprise I've got for you. We're going to record ourselves putting mushroom tea into this Blue John chalice.
Fucking hell. Fucking hell, feel the weight of that.
Hello, mate. Do you know how much it was?
Right, go on.
£1,000.
Oh. You've lost your head. You've lost your head?
Yeah, but
why? Why?
I know that sounds bad, but because I bought it with, well, not quite, I've topped up a little bit, in fact you owe me 70 quid. The £2 coin we got from the Avebury Stone Circle sold on eBay for £860.
And you bought this with it?
Well, I've topped up with 140 quid, but yeah.
You're a fucking idiot. Oh my God.
It's just the serendipity of it, I thought it was just perfect. I mean, it would have been nicer if it had gone for £1,000 on eBay, but yeah.
It's the Holy Grail.
I know. So, yes,
it's the Grail.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? How nice is that?
It's absolutely beautiful. I'm just scared I don't want to fucking drop it.
Yeah, no, I'm going to put it back in my bag. But, so what we do is we make a mushroom tea to put into this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in order for, we actually need to give a sacrifice.
Well, it's that quote of like, you should be careful going around saying you're a magician, because one day you might wake up and find out that's exactly what you are. That's what we're fucking with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose. Well, yeah. I mean, I actually do consider myself to be a magician.
That's my point.
Shit.
That's my point.
Well, yeah, but
I think we've come the wrong way.
I've not been looking at the map. Oh, for fuck's sake, we got lost.
I think we're on the wrong path.
We are on the complete wrong path.
So we can go down here though.
Metaphorically and physically. Wait,
yeah.
Hang on.
I think we need to be on this path, don't we?
It's quite white. Okay, hang on.
Oh, Jesus.
God. Whoa. Oh, Manisha's angry. Fucking hell.
Yep, swirling clouds overhead. Sounds about right.
Yeah, but basically that's what I think we do. So we go on Sunday.
Right.
We do the ritual, record it all.
Oh, I can't wait.
I know. And then that's it really. And then
at 9 o'clock, right?
9 o'clock on the dot.
In the morning?
At night.
Right.
We go at night. It'll still be light.
Remember, so 9. Jesus died at 9 o'clock. The 9 fruits of the Holy Spirit. The 9 ladies, the 9 herb charm, the nooses in the shape of a 9. Woden also hung from the tree of life for 9 days and 9 nights. All of that is going to sound great on a podcast.
I know, absolutely.
It's going to be better into numbers.
And then, of course, we just, enjoy the fame that it brings.
What if we get all of the stuff that we've recorded and bring it to the 9 ladies? Right, and then have it.
The podcast.
Yeah, and offer the podcast. The whole point, isn't it?
That's
so,
good,
like, the thing is, we're doing it as ourselves, like to make us well known. But it's the pod that's the thing.
I've got an SD card that's got all of our recordings on.
Phenomenal.
And that's what the size of a thumbnail. So I'll just take that and we'll just leave a little SD card.
Nice.
Bury it in the ground.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
As part of the ritual.
I think he's left me time codes. So I've spent the last few hours poring through the recordings. I've isolated all the clips in the order that he posted. I'll play those for you now.
You'll see what you want to see.
It just simply has to be real. It's special, I've never seen before. I'm actually beginning to understand magic.
On television last night. Oh, I've had the most amazing.
You are a true pagan queen of England.
The magical power of the elements of nature.
Perturbation. A sacrifice. That's if it's just stealing someone, then that's more just a murder.
Exactly.
When you first hear it, it doesn't seem to make any sense. But if you look at the reviews, the time codes are specific to the millisecond. 52.2.13.01. Words, a message in the recordings.
You'll
simply never understand.
True
nature.
A sacrifice.
You'll simply never understand the true nature of sacrifice. That's a quote from The Wicker Man, my favourite film.
You'll simply never understand the true nature of sacrifice.
You'll
Simply never understand
the true
Nature.
of sacrifice.
Okay, great.
All the way through. Today's pulling passes, pulling get 58, pulling hammer 605, and it's in the wing. Double check the name, please.
That's perfect.
Get the second pulling pass, Singapore to London. Enjoy your
To
flight.
London, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
If you have any information relating to this case, please contact Susanna at bodiesinthetrees.com.